So I finally watched the series finale of Gotham. Yes, with all of this Avengers Endgame hoopla going on, I almost forgot that the finale for Gotham happened. And I know it's been a while since I've talked about Gotham, reviewed Gotham. Don't worry, I have been following the final season. And look, the final season so far, I still have many complaints, many issues. And I know that people who have followed my review for Gotham over the years know that I've had a lot of issues with the show. And I feel bad to an extent because I know that there are fans of this show. I know that there are diehard fans of this show. I see the comments, not just on my reviews, but on other people's reviews where people are defending it, overly defending it, saying it's the greatest superhero show of all time. And more power to you that you love this show as much as you do. I still feel like this show should have been what this last episode was. This last episode felt like a first episode of a brand new show. Honestly, I love this finale. I did. Now, maybe as a finale, as a wrap up of what Gotham was, maybe it wasn't satisfying because you did have a time jump. They jumped ahead 10 years. The beginning of the episode, you see Bruce Wayne leave Gotham, and so you assume that he's going to go off and get his training and become the man that he's supposed to become. They jump ahead 10 years later, and you see Jim Gordon with a mustache. Finally, right? We've been waiting to see Jim Gordon with a mustache, and then he almost immediately shaves it. Why? Why couldn't they have just gone this whole episode with him wearing a mustache? Maybe it's because they thought it looked bad, and they thought it looked just fake. Or, I don't know, maybe the actor just didn't feel like wearing a fake mustache. But you see Barbara Keene, who they somehow had her in season one. She was supposed to be the fiance of Gordon. And I still, to this day, don't think she was ever supposed to be a villain. But they made her a villain for so many reasons. And they've somehow turned her around to the point where I kind of buy her as a mother or somebody who has turned for the good, and she will do what she has to do to protect her daughter. We did see young Barbara Gordon, who I guess someday, one day will become Batgirl. Riddler and Penguin. I really liked them in this episode, seeing the Riddler break out of Arkham, and you see him fully accepting his role as the Riddler. Sure, fine, maybe we didn't see him do a bunch of riddles and do a bunch of the usual Riddler stuff, but we've already seen him do that throughout the whole series. But I guess I didn't need it here. It was just nice to have him a part of the episode, and he thought that the Penguin broke him out of Arkham, and so he met up with him, but you find out that Penguin didn't do it. Penguin had his own agenda where he wanted to get revenge on Jim Gordon for locking him up in Arkham as well. And they recreated the scene from the first episode of the show, except for this time Penguin had Gordon at gunpoint at the docks. And I really liked seeing this actor who plays the Penguin because, look, I've already liked him throughout the whole show. He's been great. He's been one of the best parts of the show. But to see him in costume, fatter, with the one eyeglass, just looking so much like traditional comic book Penguin, I was satisfied. I was happy to see that. And I was also happy to see Riddler and Penguin tag team. And even when they got caught by Batman and then quickly broke out and then realized, you know what, maybe tonight's not the best night to deal with Batman once again. Yes, we do see Batman kind of, sort of, in this episode. And this is why I think some people might be disappointed. Because you had 5 years of buildup, 5 years of seeing little Bruce Wayne wear some horrible costumes, some horrible prototype masks, just horrible early versions of Batman or Vigilante, and I never cared for it. I never really liked seeing Bruce Wayne that young going out and doing Batman-like things, but yet they continued to have him do that, and that was my major problem. I think if this show, even if it was still all about Gordon, even if it did follow Gordon and his issues with Barbara or his future relationship with Leslie Tompkins, him taking on street level criminals and the mob bosses and all of that type stuff. But you had Batman in the background, just like he was in this episode, how he was in the shadows, how he did when they really needed him, swoop in there and save the day or save Gordon. But it wasn't like it became the Batman show. It still was Gordon. He still was the main character. You just saw Batman do what he does. I liked when he was in the warehouse and he made it aware for them to not touch the dead bodies because of the bombs, and he warned them of that, but still gassed the place and jumped out of the window. Like, that was a cool scene. The scene later on where he's watching Selena Kyle uh, break into a place and steal a diamond, that was cool as well. And and then the scene where Jeremiah Velasquez, or whatever his name is, the Joker, which they didn't call him the Joker, they call him Jack, call him John, call him Jay. They can't say the Joker for some reason, I guess. And look, I like this actor, Cameron Monaghan, who has played uh, Jerome or Jeremiah, some variation of the Joker throughout this whole series. I think he has been great, but they haven't handled his character as well. It jumped the shark when they introduced a twin. And now you see his makeup. Yes, he was burned by acid, and yes, I know they tried to do a similarity of the Jack Nicholson origin of the Joker, but seeing him with that not so great makeup. But my biggest issue is the hair, the very thin, almost non-existent hair. I don't understand that look. Again, I can appreciate anyone going for something different, wanting to try something different, wanting to have their own interpretation of the Joker, but this just looked off. He still had the purple jacket, and so he still had everything that made it close enough to Joker, but yet his hair, I did not like the hair. Otherwise, the performance was fine. Him kidnapping Gordon's daughter and trying to kill her, and then Batman shows up there. Once again, you don't really see Batman, but he takes out the Joker. And then at the end of the episode, you see Alfred, who sure isn't doing the greatest job of protecting Bruce Wayne's secret. Not only has Bruce Wayne been MIA for the whole episode, but he goes up to Gordon and basically says, "Yeah, Bruce Wayne's been busy." And oh yeah, that's interesting. Bruce Wayne's been busy the same time that this vigilante is going around and doing all of this stuff. Not obvious at all. And he even reminds Gordon over the fact that, hey, you gave Bruce Wayne hope. You gave him inspiration to continue. Oh look, there's Batman. Again, it makes Gordon and Bullock look dumb for not being able to figure out that these are the same two people. I understand why we never saw Bruce Wayne's face, why we never saw what he looked like older, because we had spent so much time with the younger Bruce Wayne that they didn't want to recast like that. I didn't love that they had this new actress play Selena Kyle, and not because I didn't like her or not because I didn't like the time jump. I love the time jump. I just think the time jump came too late. Once again, I think that this time jump should have happened in episode 1. Not only and look, fine. Let's say that you didn't want to do a show about Batman or a show with Batman existing. Fine. This episode, this time jump should have been episode 1 of season 5 of this whole. We should have gotten at least a whole season of these older actors. This new future. I just would have appreciated that, because now that I've seen this timeline, now that I've seen this new precedent for the show, we're not going to get any more of it, and I think it's some of the best stuff that the show has done. It shows how much better this series could have been with a Batman present, with a Batman existing, and you see her talk to Batman on the rooftop, and she is justified on why she's upset with him, why she's mad at him for leaving her. I mean, he didn't even say goodbye and didn't even say that he was leaving. Pretty messed up. 10 years is a long time, Bruce. And so I don't blame her for doing what she does. Then you get the shot of everyone, Gordon and everyone looking up at Batman for the first time. He's on the top of the building, and they tried to make it an epic shot of him standing up, looking down at them. And look, I'm not going to be too critical. I've actually been pretty positive this whole review. So, hey, take that, because I think he didn't look good. The actual full on shot of Batman and the mask and the costume looked very cheap, very low budget. And I know it's a TV show. I know it's not going to look as good as Ben Affleck's Batman or even Christian Bale's Batman. Hell, it didn't even look as good as Michael Keaton's Batman. So I'm not going to be too overly critical. That's obviously why they didn't show us the costume or show us how he looked throughout this whole episode. They gave it to us. Look, they gave us more Batman than what we got of Superman in the finale of Smallville. We certainly got a lot more of that. So, guys, overall, I enjoyed the finale more so as what Gotham could have been. So maybe in some ways it was disappointing because we should have gotten more of this. The show should have been more like this. But at least we got a decent, satisfying episode. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of the finale? Did you like it? Did you love it? Were you disappointed? I'm sure there are some people. Maybe the people who have loved the show thus far, and I haven't loved the show. Me liking this finale. Maybe it's opposite. Maybe it's switched. Maybe all of you true fans of Gotham hated this finale. I'd love to know why. Why not? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.